The film opens as a young Cameron Cade, Austin Pulliam, watching a football game with his family, witnessing their favorite team, the San Antonio Saviors, and star quarterback Isaiah White, Marlon Wayans, play another intense game. Cam watches with his father, Cam Sr., Don Benjamin, as they both view Isaiah as the GOAT, greatest of all time. Their excitement falls when Isaiah suffers a gruesome leg injury, which deals a heavy blow to his career. Cam Sr. encourages his son to achieve the same level of greatness and to become the next GOAT. As an adult, Cam, Tyreek Withers, has become a prominent name in football, supported by his mother Yvette, Indira G. Wilson, cousin Murph, Guapdad 4000, and girlfriend Adrienne, Tiara Wack, while Cam Sr. passed away serving overseas. Cam has been tapped to be the next big quarterback like Isaiah. While staying late at his old school to practice, Cam is approached from behind by a man in a goat mascot costume who swings a large weapon down on Cam. Cam suffers a debilitating brain injury, putting him out of the game for a while. His family, plus agent Tom, Tim Heidecker, try to get Cam back on his feet quickly, but he becomes discouraged over the incident. When attempting to join the league combine, he gets angry when the person shaving his head nicks the staples in Cam's head. While at a party, Cam is later contacted by Tom to let him know that Isaiah himself is inviting Cam to his compound for 1 week to train him in time to join the league, since Isaiah is supposedly planning to retire. Cam is driven to the compound, which is far out in the desert. He witnesses a crazed crowd of fans, including a scary, screaming woman named Marjorie, Naomi Grossman, who spits at Cam's car. Cam enters the lavish compound and meets his longtime idol, who praises his skills on the field. Isaiah tells Cam to think of his time there like a boot camp that is purely focused on football, but to have fun with it. Day fun. Cam starts with some basic warm-ups and workouts before taking a physical with Isaiah's personal doctor, Marco, Jim Jeffries. He also meets Isaiah's wife, Elsie, Julia Fox, a social media influencer. While taking an ice bath, Cam sees Isaiah filling up a bag with his blood for rainy days. Marco later injects some of the blood into Cam, allegedly to boost his energy. Day 2. Poise. Cam gets woken up with a big splash of water. After going on a run through the desert with Isaiah, Cam vomits and passes out, briefly seeing a hallucination of a figure walking towards him with a pickaxe and swinging down on him. Isaiah brings Cam to practice drills. Cam is disturbed when one of the drills involves a man voluntarily standing in front of the football launching machine and taking numerous hits to the face before turning into a bloody mess. Cam is later put in a hyperbaric chamber for a while, where he suffers more hallucinations. Day 3. Leadership. During another set of drills, Isaiah ridicules Cam's results, screaming in his face and demanding to know what he would sacrifice for success, to which Cam says everything. With his newfound intensity, Cam headbutts another player during the drill, knocking him down on the ground. Cam feels some remorse as the player is lying on the ground, helpless. At night, Cam sees another hallucination, where someone appears to try and attack him from behind with a plastic bag over his head. He contacts his family after missing his mother's birthday and realizing that he is slowly pushing them away. Marco privately talks to Cam about how he should not kill himself over his job or lose the time with his loved ones. Cam joins Isaiah in the sauna, where he discusses what he misses about playing in the big leagues. After Isaiah leaves the room, a group of psycho fans led by Marjorie sneak into the sauna. She attempts to attack Cam, but he overpowers her and nearly strangles her to death. Isaiah returns, and Marjorie attempts to bludgeon Cam with a sauna rock, only for Isaiah to violently slam Marjorie into the wall to kill her. The other two fans scream and retreat while Cam is mortified. Cam gets ready to leave the place until he is stopped by Elsie, who invites him to a party with other beautiful women. It is implied that Cam sleeps with Elsie, or one of them. He wakes up in his room to find Isaiah holding a gun at him and wanting to know if he did sleep with Elsie, but Isaiah laughs at Cam's reaction. Day IV Resilience. Isaiah takes Cam out into the desert to shoot rifles. Cam talks about his shock in nearly killing Marjorie the night before, but Isaiah tells him that killers need to be remorseless. Isaiah then props up what looks like a real body in a mascot costume up for Cam to shoot. Day V. Vision. Later, he joins Isaiah and Elsie for an interview/photo shoot, where Cam gets emotional talking about his late father. Elsie later invites Cam to a party to meet the Savior's owner, Richard Lippert, and they are also joined by Tom. Marco passes Cam and quietly tells him to run, something that Elsie notices. Cam drinks a red liquid, more of Isaiah's blood, and starts to trip out during the party. Cam later passes out but sees Marco's severed head in a room that Elsie brings him to. Day I. Sacrifice. Cam wakes up in a bed of ice with an IV of Isaiah's blood in his arm. He removes the IV and crawls to a syringe from Marco that says run, giving him an adrenaline boost so he can get back on his feet. As he tries to get out, Cam is found by Isaiah, who reveals the whole intention of the training all along. For the last few generations, the Saviors have performed a ritual in which the new quarterback drinks the blood of his mentor and gains their powers, leading to a duel to the death between the mentor and the student for the position. Isaiah is not ready to quit football just yet and starts to fight Cam, boasting about how he is the GOAT. Cam eventually knocks Isaiah down and bludgeons him to death with a helmet. Cam walks out of the building and onto an open field with masked cheerleaders and the Saviors team, along with Elsie and Tom. They are ready to have Cam sign away his life to them so that he can be the next GOAT. This leads Cam to realize that the Saviors owner knew his father. They are pictured with Kid Cam, and that this was orchestrated a long time ago, including the attack on Cam, in order to bring Cam here. Cam chooses not to sacrifice his time with his loved ones. The GOAT mascot, real name Malek, tries to kill Cam with a sword, but Cam ducks and takes Malek's weapon from him, smashing his skull with it. Elsie attempts to go after Cam with a dagger, only to stupidly trip and fall throat first onto it. Cam takes the sword and proceeds to slaughter the owners, including the main boss getting his head chopped off after he threatened Cam's family. Cam spares Tom, but he gets pulled into a pentagram, presumably for failing to live up to his end of the bargain, and a demonic force causes him to explode. Cam, now covered in blood, walks out of the field while smiling,